Hi guys, welcome to Menace Monk. Today I'll be sharing a personal story with you. A story that inspired me to start this whole channel. Wait, who are you and what's your channel even about? Great question. Well, my name is Rajvinder, but I've decided to go with the name Menace Monk. So all my life I had two contrasting sides to my personality, and both of them were fighting to become more dominant, one being the menace and one being the monk. I've finally come to a point in my life where I can utilize both of these personalities to benefit myself and others for the greater good. And with sharing my interesting story, perspective, and insight, I'm hoping that you could take something away to benefit yourself and those around you. Oh, okay. So, have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered like, Snoop Dogg did? Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? Well, I know I have, and I know a lot of you have. So today I'm going to share a little personal story with you. I'm all ears for a good story. So, we as a human race need to stop going around intentionally and unintentionally hurting one another because we feel hurt ourselves. Hurt people. Sometimes we don't know how to cope with the pain someone else has inflicted on us. So we go around hurting one another, and this becomes a never-ending cycle. I feel you on that, and I truly do, but have you ever been so mad and so angry that you felt like you had to hurt the person that hurt you? Oh baby girl, I have. When I was 4, I was molested by my next door neighbor, and this was the start of my darkest days. I'm actually living in the same house I grew up in, and that motherfucker lived right there. Damn, that must have been tough. Yeah, it was, but with a lot of hard work on healing myself, I got better. So someone who had his own battles going on decided that it was okay to inflict his own pain and desires onto me. This left me with a lot of destructive thoughts, and the most dominant being that I wanted to murder this man. So did you ever tell anyone? No, I actually didn't, because at that time I was very young and I didn't know how to express my thoughts and these emotions and feelings that were going on inside of my head. So as I grew older, I was kind of fearful of expressing what was going on inside my inner world because I was afraid to be looked at as being a mental case or an evil person. I also didn't want to express this to my parents because I know my dad's character, and I knew that he would go over there, and I didn't want my dad getting into any trouble because of me. It was one thing that he molested me, but it was another that he would show off his pride of being able to damage me in the way that he did. He would look outside his window and smirk at me and whistle at me, and this really put a lot of anger inside of me. So every day, thoughts and plans would come through my head of how I could execute his murder successfully. And this became an everyday battle. So what kept you from acting on these thoughts? Well, I always used to hear this little voice inside my head telling me not to act on my thoughts, because one day I knew I was going to come out of this and be able to help others. I know it might be a little crazy to always be thinking about murdering somebody for that many years, but when you're put into this circumstance where you're that angry, you never know what you're going to do. So the anger I had for this man was so deep that when I used to watch crime shows, I would pick up ideas, and anything that had to do with murdering somebody, I would take little hints and clues and take that into consideration. I spoke to God every single day, which I still do, and I built a relationship with something higher than myself. I had put all my trust and faith into God and I strongly believed that He would be able to take me out of my misery and I would be able to see the light again. And although I did have a strong faith in God, I still had all these thoughts, and I couldn't really understand why, because I figured if I had such faith, why would I be going through all of this? Just curious, how did God come through for you? So when I was 19, this man still lived next door to me. Holy, I think I would have just murdered the man. So one day I was painting my backyard fence and I could see his backyard from where I was standing. I vividly remember looking up at the sky and saying to God that if he didn't take this man out of my life, I was going to do something about it, and I was so serious that day. And no joke, after 2 seconds of me saying this, his daughter comes up to me and says, "Rosie's dead. He died of a heart attack." And this was the news I was waiting for my whole life. I couldn't believe God had come through for me at the perfect time. The day I decided I was gonna murder this man is the day that he died, and I was in such awe. So the reason why I wanted to share this story, and I was so compelled to share this story, is because I've witnessed so many people hurting and damaging other people because of their own pains and their own battle. And honestly, it's not getting any better, and it's so sad to see. So I just want to commend everyone out there who is staying strong through their own battles and struggles. And my advice to you is to build a relationship with something that is higher than you and make it your best friend. And when I say God, I mean anything that you feel a connection to. If it's Jesus, if it's Buddha, if it's the Guru, anything that is higher than you, that you know that you can go to when you feel lonely or you feel very weak in your battles. So I got a question for you. How do you even build a relationship with God? So that's a very good question, but I will definitely be talking about that in my next videos to come. Stay tuned. So if you like that video, please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and don't forget to comment below. I would love to hear your story of how God came through for you. Peace and love. Running away from a monster, but the more you run, the more power it has against you. And the only way to win